breathing. And I've got some good new exercises for everybody today. If you have a band, you can grab that. We'll definitely be using that today. For the breathing, we're gonna do on our backs. Remember, you wanna have pelvic tilt so your back is flat on the ground. Hands are up in the air. You can have your legs at 90 degrees or flat on the ground. Whatever is gonna work for you to get your back flat. We're gonna do 5 breaths in. Remember to breathe all the way out, like all the air out, until you don't think you can breathe out anymore. Pause for 2 seconds, and then breathing in again. And when you breathe out, you'll notice that your lower core engages, and try to keep that engaged as you breathe in again. Not breathing through your stomach, but breathing through your ribs. So here we go. Breathe in. Breathe in. And out. Two more. Breathe in. Last one. Breathe in. Nice work. Okay, we're going into our glute bridge. This first round, we're going to be doing a double leg glute bridge. And all we're going to be doing is doing 25 repetitions. Really just thinking about, and what's raising you up is squeezing your glutes together, not arching your back. You can see my back is arched here. You don't want that. And you can see how high up I am. And when I stop arching my back, my butt comes down quite a bit. So you only want to be going up as high as your butt will allow. You put your hands up in the air if you want. The good thing about doing that is it keeps you from lifting up with your arms. You really want all of this coming from your glutes and your hamstrings. Really try to think about also feeling your entire foot on your mat, from your big toe all the way to your little toe. So if you find that you're on the outside of your feet, really try to think about getting some pressure onto that big toe. About 10 more left here. You may find as you go further along, you can get a little bit more height. You may find today you're really tired. That's okay. Once you've done 25, we're going to go into our favorite cobra pose. You're going to be on your stomach. And for the first round, we're just going to lift up 15 times. Think about bringing your shoulders down. You don't want them up by your ears. You want them down. Relax that low back and your glutes. Pause at the top. Really think about pushing that middle back forward. Nice job. Once you're done 15, we're gonna go back to our glute bridge. This time we're gonna do a hold, single leg, each side. We're gonna hold for 45 seconds. Starting in 3, 2, 1, come up. Really think about squeezing that glute. You want to feel your glute squeezing kind of on the inside of your glute and on the outside of your glute. So just think about that. You can have your hands up in the air so you're not pushing off on your arms or your elbows. If you feel your leg, your butt starting to come down a little bit or your quad is burning, think about squeezing that glute. If your quad's burning, you're not getting your glute as activated or your hamstring is activated. You got 10 seconds left here, and then we'll switch sides. 3, 2, 1, switch sides. Like when we were doing the double leg glute bridge, you really want to think about having that good even pressure, the pressure on your big toe and on your little toe. Doing great. We've got 20 seconds left. Five seconds. 3, 2, 1, down. Nice work. Okay, we're just gonna do one round of open bucks. So you guys should be familiar with this, but if you're not, you're gonna lay on your side. Your knees are gonna be up at 90 degrees. Okay, the key here is you don't want your top knee to slide back. So you want your knees to remain stacked the entire time. If your knee slides back, that means you're rotating through your hips, which is not what you want to do. The point of this exercise is a thoracic exercise to open up your thoracic. So you can do 5 repetitions each side, nice and slow. Pause for a couple seconds when you've opened up the end range. You might feel a stretch in your pec or in your bicep. But really think about keeping those hips stable, trying to rotate through your mid to upper back. Trying to push a little bit further each time. Once you've done 5, switch sides. Nice work. Okay, we're going into our next round. So this first thing is going to be a side plank on our knees with a clamshell hold. So let me show you what that looks like to begin with, okay? So everybody's going to be on their knees. You're going to come up. Remember to have your hips forward. You don't want them back like this. You want your hips forward. Then you're going to bring your knee up and forward. But you want to keep your hips forward. And you don't want to have your knee like this. You want to have almost your foot hovering above the ground, okay? So we're going to hold that for 30 seconds, starting 3, 2, 1, come up, bring that leg forward. Really, it's very easy to let your hips start sinking back. So really think about driving those hips forward. Squeezing that bottom glute, drive those hips forward. 5 more seconds here. 3, 2, 1, let's switch sides. Come up. It's so easy to let your hips fall back, and it sort of loses the point of the exercise. So if you find that you don't feel like it's that hard, really think about driving those hips forward. Got 10 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, and down. Nice work. Okay, we're gonna go into the bear pose. We're not gonna do any marching in this round. All we're gonna do is a bear pose hold. So if you remember, you don't want your back arched, right? But you want your hips tucked under, so you can see how I'm doing that, my pelvic tilt. And you want your scapula to be open. Your toes are gonna be tucked under, and all you're gonna do is just lift up an inch off the ground. And we're gonna hold this for 1 minute. If you need any break or anything, just come down, reset your form. Remember to keep that pelvic tilt though, because that's what engages the low core. We're gonna start now. We're just gonna hold. I actually find for myself that this pose is the hardest just holding than when you're moving. Nice work, 30 seconds. Don't lose that pelvic tilt. Get that scapula open. Fifteen seconds. Three, 2, 1, and down. Nice job. Okay, the next exercise we're gonna do is called a walkout. So you're gonna be standing up, and it's okay if you're not flexible. I'm not flexible at all. I can't touch my toes. So you can start with your knees bent. And all you're gonna do is you're gonna walk out into as far out as you can go, into a prone position. And then you're gonna come back up. It's okay if you have to bend your knees, that's totally fine. So we're gonna do 5 of those, okay? Here we go. And how far you can walk out, I mean, that's really your call. You don't want your hips to be sagging. You want to keep a nice strong position. Once you get out to your end range, you're gonna walk back up. This exercise is really good for balance and coordination. It gets a little bit of hamstring stretch and calf stretch, which is good, and is also a great core exercise. Try not to have your hips move too much as you're walking out. Try to keep them as stable as possible. Once you're done 5, nice job. We're gonna come down, we're gonna do a hip flexor opener. So for this, I'll switch sides. You're gonna have one leg back, one leg open, and all we're gonna do is lean into it. You can bring your arm overhead and turn to the side if you want. If you want to go a little bit further in, you can come forward, but we're just gonna hold this position. I personally really enjoy sort of leaning back That's where I get the best hip stretch. We're gonna hold this for about 45 seconds. Feel free to play around with the position a little bit. Go a little bit deeper, whatever you feel comfortable with. And let's switch sides. I love getting a good sort of oblique stretch with this. Feels really good. About 15 more seconds here. If you want, you can squeeze your butt cheek. You'll feel a little bit more intensity in the front of your hip. Nice work. Okay, we're gonna go back to those side plank clamshells. Again, we're just gonna hold for 30 seconds each side. And we're gonna start in 3, 2, 1. Let's come up. Drive those hips forward. About 10 more seconds left. Three, two, one. Let's switch sides. Here we go. Make sure to squeeze that glute. Drive those hips forward. 10 seconds left. And down. Nice work. Okay, we're gonna go back to the bear pose. Okay, we're gonna hold for another minute. So we get that pelvic tilt. Again, if you're like this, you wanna rotate that pelvis forward, scapula up, okay? And we're going to, this time we're just gonna add in a hand march. Okay, so all you're gonna do is when you're up, you're gonna be lifting your hands one at a time, really slowly. You don't wanna have any rocking. And we're gonna start in 3, 2, 1, let's go. So just slowly lifting those hands, keeping the stability, keeping that pelvic tilt, scapula extended, nice and slow, no rocking. Balance that glass of water. Nice work. You're about 30 seconds in. Fifteen seconds to go. Three, two, one, and down. Nice work. Okay, another 5 walkouts. Same thing. See if you can go a little bit further this time. How far you're able to walk out. If you can get your knees a little straighter, get a little bit more of that hamstring, do that. One more here. Nice work. Okay, you're gonna stay standing up. We're gonna do just one round of this. So spreading your legs, standing up. You want your feet flat on the ground. Wide as you feel comfortable, but so you can put your hands on the ground. You're just gonna rotate 10 times each side. You get a really nice adductor stretch, and it's good mobility, thoracic mobility as well. Once you've done 10, switch sides. Nice job. All right, the next round, we're gonna do an actual side plank. So if you are not comfortable doing a split stance side plank, you can just go up on your knees, that's fine. We're just gonna hold for 45 seconds each side. Otherwise, if you're comfortable going up into a normal plank, you're just gonna be having a split stance like this for the first round. And we're gonna start in 3, 2, 1, let's come up. Remember to have those hips forward. You want your shoulders, hips, and ankles in nice alignment. Think about squeezing that lower glute. I don't know if you just saw, but mine wasn't engaged and I just squeezed it and I got a little bit more activation. Just another 15 seconds here. Let's switch sides. Let's come up. Nice job. Everybody looks really good. Got another 20 seconds here. Squeeze that bottom glute. Make sure the hips are nice and aligned. Three, 2, 1, and down. Nice job. If you have a band, you can grab that. We're gonna do a dead bug. If you don't have a band, that's okay. If you don't have a band, what you're gonna do is you're gonna bring your opposite elbow and knee together, and you're just gonna extend out. Remember to keep that nice pelvic tilt so your low back is flat on the ground. Your low back is coming up. You can see mine is up there. That's not good. You want to keep that low core engaged and your back flat on the ground. So you're going to 10 each side. If you have the band, we're just going to alternate for 1 minute. Starting in 3, 2, 1, You're gonna extend out, bring those arms overhead. Pause for a second, come back in. Extend the other leg out, engage that low core. Arms are overhead into an extended position. Come back in. Really think about a couple of things. One is you want to think about having that low core engaged. Second thing you want to think about is pushing through the band with your extended foot. And the third thing you want to think about is driving that knee up. And then the last thing actually is like thinking about keeping those ribs down. So if you feel like your ribs are starting to flare up or your upper back is coming off the ground, really think about bringing those ribs down. Helps with the core engagement as well. Five more seconds. Nice work. We're gonna keep the band on, but we're gonna actually come up onto our feet. We're gonna do toe touches. If you don't have a band, that's okay. You can still do them along with us. The key in both circumstances, we're gonna do 15 each side, is you want to do sort of like a little partial squat and get that glute engaged, right? Really stable. You want your good pressure through your foot so that when you start bringing your leg out, you're really stable. So your glute, you're using your glute, you're using your quad, you're using all of your leg muscle to stabilize. You're not getting a lot of hip shift. So we're just gonna do 15 each side. We're gonna go through these one more time. So if you have to get off, I totally understand. If not, we're gonna go and do that side plank and do the dead bugs at least one more time. Really think about not moving that hip. You guys are doing actually a really good job. I'm watching all of you. It looks really good. Also, when you bring your toe out, like you can set it on the ground, but don't push off. You know, you really are just kind of touching lightly and then picking it back up. All the stability needs to come from that leg. Nice work. Okay, we're gonna go back to the side plank. We're just gonna hold for another 45 seconds each side. And we're gonna do the dead bugs and we'll be done. Starting in 3, 2, 1, let's come up. Side planks are just so good for you. They help your swimming posture. They help your hip stability on the bike. They help your hip drop with run. It's just such a good exercise to incorporate. Nice work. You've got 15 seconds left here. Three, 2, 1. Let's switch sides. And up. Really think about that alignment. Think about activating that bottom glute. Driving those hips forward. Don't want to be hiking. Nice work. Coming down in 3, 2, 1, and down. Nice job. All right, last thing, back to the dead bugs with the band. This time, we're gonna hold for 10 seconds. If you don't have a band, you're gonna do exactly the same thing, just without the band, just going into full extension and holding for 10 seconds. And then we're gonna switch. So I'll tell you when we are going to switch. We're starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's extend out, get the arms overhead. Just think about your breathing, getting that pelvic tilt, and switch sides. Good stability, driving that foot out and the knee up. Back flat on the ground, switch sides. Switch sides. Switch sides. Just 2 more. Switch sides. Last one. And done. Nice job, guys. That was good. Added in a few new things today, a little bit differently. So you guys did really, really well. It was nice. So I was watching your form and everybody looked really good. So nice work. We'll see everybody next week. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate it.